All right, let's talk about procurement. For a lot of companies, that word alone is enough to make you sigh, right? It just feels like this chore, this necessary evil that's buried somewhere in the back office. But what if that chore is actually hiding one of your company's most powerful, untapped strategic advantages? Today, we're going to flip the script on how you see procurement. And this quote right here, this is the feeling, isn't it? The endless time-sucking forms, the confusion around what you're even supposed to do, and those back and forth negotiations that feel like they take forever. It gets so frustrating that people will do just about anything to go around the process, and that, well, that can really cost the business in a long run.
So if you're sitting there nodding along, trust me, you are not alone. This is super common. But here's the good news. It really doesn't have to be this way. There is a much, much smarter path forward, and that's what we're here to map out.
So first things first, we need a major mental shift. To really unlock the power here, we have to stop thinking of this as just buying stuff. Because as you can see, it is so much more than a simple transaction. It's all about strategy. So what is procurement really? Well, think of it as the entire life cycle of getting what your business needs to operate. It's not just the moment you swipe the company card. It starts way earlier with that first thought of, hey, we could really use some new software. And it goes all the way through to managing that relationship with the software company years down the line. It's the whole shebang. Now, this slide is absolutely key because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. We tend to use procurement and purchasing like they're the same thing, but they're worlds apart. See, purchasing is the transactional piece of the puzzle. It's filling out the form, sending the PO, paying the bill. Procurement, that's the big strategic picture. That's figuring out what you need in the first place, finding the right partners, and negotiating great deals. So here's the bottom line. Purchasing is what you do, procurement is how and why you do it. And when you look at the full life cycle like this, you can really see how broad that strategy is. Notice step one isn't place an order, it's identify a need. It starts with a question. From there, you're carefully selecting suppliers and negotiating contracts, all before a single purchase order is even created. Every single step you see here is an opportunity to make a smarter decision and add value. Okay, so why do we care so much about getting this right? Well, because the benefits are huge. A really solid procurement process does way more than just save you a few bucks on a deal. It builds stronger relationships with your suppliers, helps you avoid those crippling shortages, and it gives you the data to make way smarter decisions across the entire business. All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Let's get into the how. How do you actually build a better system? One that your team doesn't actively try to avoid. It really boils down to a few key foundational pillars. It all starts with making the whole process transparent, so everyone knows the rules of the road. Then, you've got to get your departments talking to each other, collaborating on what they need instead of everyone doing their own thing. A huge one is treating your vendors like actual partners, not just someone to haggle with. And finally, you have to be constantly asking, do we still need this? Instead of just buying the same things over and over. These four pillars are the bedrock. And that first pillar, transparency, is just so critical. This quote really nails it. If the whole process feels like some mysterious black box, of course people are going to find workarounds. But when everybody knows what to do, and more importantly, why they're doing it, you build trust, you get buy-in, the whole system just runs better. Once you get these pillars in place, then you can really pour some fuel on the fire with the right tools. And that brings us to the modern toolkit. See, it used to be that if you wanted a top-tier procurement system, you needed a massive, multi-million-dollar investment in software from a giant like SAP or Oracle. That was a game only the huge corporations could play. But today, the game has completely changed. Amazing tools are now within reach for everyone, especially small and medium-sized businesses. I mean, this picture says it all, doesn't it? The problem with the old way of doing things is that it's all manual. You're drowning in spreadsheets trying to track contracts, doing physical head counts of inventory. It is so slow. It's begging for expensive mistakes to happen, and it's a massive waste of your team's valuable time. But this is where today's tech is a total game changer. And we're not talking about some crazy expensive system. Think simple, effective stuff. Electronic inventory with basic barcodes. Digital contract management that actually pings you before a contract renews. Simple online forms to get the right info from the start. And the best part? So much of this is cloud-based now, which means it's super affordable and easy to get up and running. And that's the big takeaway here. This kind of efficiency, this power, it's not just for the Fortune 500 anymore. Whether you're a 5-person startup or a 500-person company, these cloud tools can be rolled out fast and they don't have to break the bank. They completely level the playing field.
And that leads us to the ultimate payoff. When you combine that strategic mindset we talked about with these modern, accessible tools, you fundamentally change what procurement is for your business. It stops being a line item, a simple cost center. It becomes an engine for savings, for building incredible partnerships, and for creating a real, lasting competitive advantage.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about for your own business. Take a good, honest look at how you do things. Right now, is your procurement process just a necessary evil, a source of friction that everyone complains about? Or are you ready to transform it into your company's secret weapon?